Hey, what's up, everyone? And welcome to the Deceptilab and welcome to the weekly live stream. I had to sound check myself real quick. Sorry about that. And today, gonna have a pretty chill stream, man. We're gonna talk about this week is gonna be the week of the TFEW anniversary event. So, uh, good stuff. A lot of good stuff coming along with that. Going to be a lot of prizes handed out. Going to be uh, no dupe 5-star bot handed out this week, and yeah, it should be a good time. So we'll talk about that event a little bit. And the apes this week introduced a survey, and I want to talk about that a little bit. I think this survey that they built was a little bit better than some of the previous surveys, so I want to talk about that a little bit. And I just want to talk about playtest in general. Like right now, we're working on the new combat bots that are going to be equipped to Deathsaurus and Star Sabre, and just want to share some thoughts from the playtest community and just talk about just the different things that we've been looking at as opposed to how it's actually going. So yeah, and of course my dog starts going crazy right as the stream starts. Let me go grab him real quick and give me a second, and we will go into the newsletter right after that. Stand by real quick. All right, sorry about that. But all right, so let's go ahead and move over to the newsletter. And that is not the newsletter, that is the survey. All right, give me a minute and we'll put the newsletter back up there. But while I'm doing that, let's take a look and see who we got in the chat. And it looks like Just Elite was first up there this time. And so thanks for joining. We also got Lord Avix, one of my good friends and teammates. We got Robert C4. We also got E-Rods. Let's see, Alpha Trion 1, thanks for joining. Let's see, we got Avenger Prime, one of my playtest buddies, thanks for joining. We got Chris Harmon, one of my other good friends who joined us also. And you guys can probably see my dog up here. Yeah, this is I'm gonna put him up there in the camera. This is Bud, aka Deceptidog. Trying to keep him calm real quick because he's up there looking out the window, seeing all the other people out there walking and stuff like that. So we got the Mercenary Terror up there, one of my moderators and fellow content creators. And so, like, check all these guys out, man. Him, Just Elite. Um, in addition to the official content creators, we got some really, really good unofficial content creators out there. So be sure to check out their channels. Both of those guys are in the bio section of my channel. If you haven't already, make sure that you go check them out and subscribe. All right, let's see. So I'm finding the. I can't find the link for the newsletter. And yeah, just give me a second. I said I'm on the newsletter now. But because there's a lot of good stuff up there this week, man. They got a lot of good prizes and everything. They're gonna be handing out a lot of good bundles. Ah, there it is. All right. So let's put that into. Oh, actually, yeah, I did have it up. Cool. Some reason it's not letting me interact though. So let's see. All right, I'll just get rid of the survey for a second. All right, cool. Got the newsletter working finally. I tried to run two browsers at the same time and it just would not cooperate, but all good. We'll see how everything is going for this week. All right, so I see Surge Soundwave 1590 joined us as well. Thanks for joining. All right, so this is the 7th year anniversary of Transformers Earth Wars. So yeah, I mean it's actually really good to see a game last this long. So like I said, we're gonna get a couple of good prizes. So this is a real short event. It's 300K, and obviously the big prize that we're all looking for, the 7th anniversary crystal that guarantees a guaranteed 5-star bot. So when you actually look at the chart, you'll see that that 5-star crystal is going to be at 110K. So try to make it relatively attainable from players of multiple different levels. Space 8 and several alliance families are just trying to get players help on Discord and through different sources to try to make sure that they get that 5-star. So let me know in the chat, what 5-star are you hoping to get out of your anniversary crystal? Let me know in the chat and we can talk about it. All right, so we got up to 500K troop XP items. So that'll try to help you level up that new bot. You'll get up to 350K spark, up to 15 celebration canisters. Then each one of those are gonna contain 4-star shards, 3-star shards, a premium crystal shards. So really chill event. The anniversary event, they usually try to make it really short and sweet. So that's the breakdown right there of the premium shards, 3-star and 5-star shards. So 33%. It's 33.33. So you can either get 5,000 premium shards, you can get 1,500 3-star shards, 500 4-star shards in each one of those celebration canisters. And then they get the list of all the bots that you can get from the 5-star crystal. So pretty much they're just going through all of the different batches, with the exception of the newer batches. So pretty good. I was actually going through my list the other day, and I realized that a lot of the newer batches, I don't have all of those bots. But for me, I think that if I had to have my pick, I would like to probably get SG Thundercracker or Skyhawk. I'd rather that would be my pick. If I could have a perfect pick this time, it would be one of those two. But we'll see how it goes. I always look at it like, even if I get a dud for the pick, then I was like, hey, at least I didn't have to go into the batch and get that bad pick. So really looking forward to it. All right, so you got anniversary bundles, and so kind of like they always do, they do the best of every single year. So best of 2002 or 2022, excuse me. They got some bots up there like SG Jetfire and SG Thundercracker, Minerva Flatline, Slingshot and Acid Storm, and then Twin Twist and Quelagon. And then they just go down the list for the best of each year since the game has been out, all the way going down to 2016. Typical battle zones for the event. And then I know a lot of you free to play players have been waiting for this one. 4-star Fort Max and Scorponok are going to be coming to the game. They'll be coming with the content update on Thursday, and they'll be available for the price of 40K 4-star shards. So I hope you guys already been saving. If you already don't have these guys, if you didn't do the event or anything, for whatever reason, then you can go in and get your new 4-star Titan for those 4-star shards. The last batch of G1 cores is going to be going into the batch tomorrow, Thursday, June 8th. And that's going to be the ones that had Blades and Dirge, Goldfire, and Ramjet, and then Warpath and Skull Smasher. The Warpath, and as much as I don't particularly care for the bot, the Warpath and Skull Smasher one I really liked a lot. The Ramjet and the Dirge ones are they're alright. They're not great. Alright, a survey going around, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. And then they announced another Reddit winner for the 500 5-star combat shards. So congrats to Cam2310 for winning that contest. They're talking again about the anniversaries. Like I said already, you get 110K event points, then you'll get that 5-star bot. And they set up a couple of channels on Discord and Reddit for people who are looking for help, so they can try to make sure that as many players as possible get that 5-star bot. All right, so it's going to be a lot of exclusives as far as giveaways for the anniversary. So here's the schedule for that. There's going to be some Discord exclusives, some Reddit exclusives. There's going to be a max of 15 winners for those. There's also going to be they're trying to get SpaceX's trying to get some folks to design a new skin for the game, and so they're basically looking for anybody that's artistic to go in there and use the link in the newsletter to try to submit for that. And honestly, that's a good thing because I've been waiting for new skins for a little bit. Like ever since they made the Netflix War for Cybertron series, it's just been like, all right, well, we got those skins. And then you hadn't really got much else since that, other than with the exception of the Cyberpass skin. So that'll be cool to, it's always really, really good artwork from week to week in the newsletter anyway. So why not go and actually have your product go into the game? All right, impressive toy collections. There's going to be a drawing for those who submit their toy collections, and they get the Discord link for that. And they get the showcase channel for art and the showcase channel for toys. And they're going to have a max 2 winners for that. And then the content creators are going to have the content creators going to be able to give away some loot links, and they also are going to be able to take names for a drawing. All of us official content creators take names for a drawing. We get up to 20 names that we get to submit, and Space will actually do a drawing for that. So I'm going to go ahead and do my first 5 right now. And I'm just going to go with the first 5 people to get into the chat. So Just Elite, Lord Avix, Robert C4, E-Rods, and Alpha Tryon 1 were the first 5 into the chat today. So hit me up on Discord. My link is in my page. For most of you guys talk to me on Discord already, but for those 5 folks, I'll give you a regular loot link today, and once you contact me, I will also put your name into the drawing for the Space Ape drawing, and which they will be giving out. I think it was 500. It's 500k 5-star combat shards or 500 5-star shards. They said they give you the choice. So yeah, congrats to you guys for winning that. As always, check out all your content creators: Engineer Horse, myself, Soldier, and Trika Waza. And then Community Corner's got some good artwork. That one actually works really well because it's talking about no spoilers for the Transformers movie, which also comes out this week, The Rise of the Beast. So I want to see that. I'm probably not gonna see it on Friday. Because I'm gonna be traveling. I'll probably go and try to see that on Saturday or Sunday when it's a more chill day. But yeah, so good artwork in there. There's gonna be Space Ape is gonna have their stream tomorrow, Thursday the 8th. It says it's gonna be a different kind of stream this week. It'll be a community stream celebrating, and they've got the spin the wheel and a few other things to share. So I'm kind of interested to see how that goes and looking forward to that. So we will see how that goes. All right. So let's take a look in the chat, see what's going on in there. Chris Harmon says, hope I'm okay for all that smoke around this area. So yeah, so for you guys who don't know, I'm in the Mid-Atlantic. I'm in Delaware, and yeah, that smoke down here, like it's been pretty bad. If I'm gonna be honest with you, like I woke up this morning and it was like really really hazy out from all the fires that they were having up on the East Coast. Doing okay. I spend most of the time indoors, so it hadn't been too bad. But yeah, no, I appreciate the concern. Let's see. I missed one. I said Joker. Actually, I missed his name when he was in there, and says he loves the show. So thanks for that, and thanks for joining us. Highly classified also joined. I missed a couple of names when I was scrolling through there. Shame on me. But highly classified joined. Thanks for joining as well. Let's see. So we're looking at bots that people want for there. So um, Chris Harmon says he wants Tantrum or Ripper Snapper. So he wants a 5-star combiner parts. So yeah, whenever they actually do that, I know a lot of people, especially for folks that are already collected quite a bit of bots. One of the things you start looking at is like, all right, okay, do I have all the 5-star pieces for when 5-star combiners come out? So yeah, that's a good way to go. Alpha Trion 1 would love to get any 5-star healer. What do you got so far? Do you got any 5-star healers at all? Because I said I've been there. I've been there when I just was trying to use 4-star healers, and then when the 5-star healer that I did have, it was Reflector, and I was like, daggone man, like I just so then I wound up getting hooked, and then I was right around the time that Flatline came out, and I was just like, all right, well, everybody's like, well, you need to get Flatline Freeze, man. I'm not chasing. I had just got hooked when Flatline came out, so I was just like, and I run one healer on my team too, so it's just one of those things. Um, Mercenary Terror is kind of on the same page that I'm on. He was saying that he wouldn't mind getting Skyhawk. Yeah, there you can go see. You can see Hook right there on my war team. I got Deathsaurus stuck on the war team for right now because I was doing some testing with him earlier, but yeah. And we'll talk about that in a little bit because I think there's a lot of things we can do differently to try to make Deathsaurus relevant again. Um, we'll have that conversation in a little bit. Just a late agreed with me and saying definitely suggest Terror's channel. He's got some really good content. So yeah, I have to agree with that. Victory Star Sabre joined another one of the fellow content creators, and he was saying that he would like the 5-star Optimus. Actually, honestly, I was talking in the group chat the other day. I said I think that's who I'm gonna get, but well, Megatron for me, but you know what I mean. And I was like, but people are always trying to wish me bad luck. People are trying to say I was gonna get like dive bomb, and I was like, yo man, stop that, man. Like I already, and here's my thing, I already pulled Deathsaurus last week. I I'm not really feeling it. I think I've got him up to like 40 something right now, but on my live account. But I'm just like, man, like, and I was really kind of trying to push him a little bit just so I could see what this new combat's going to be like. We're working on the G1 core. I was trying to see what that's going to be like. And now it's just like, dude, like, I really want this to be good. So it'll be like it was like 4 or 5 years ago. And he's a really good bot. But, you know, we'll talk about it. Just Elite, not sure which 5-star he wants yet. Um, Maybe Twin Twist for defense for the war team. And I've been there, man. Like the war team's pretty set, so I'm not overly pressed about what bot I get. So I do understand what you're saying. Robert C4 is chasing Flatline, so you get about 2,000 shards left to get the crystal. Cool. All right, so I want to actually go in, and I had to delete it for a second, but I want to take a look at this survey that the apes had. And in order to do that, let me go back into this link because it's some honestly, and I don't know if you guys have done your survey yet, but it seemed to me like it was a much better survey than it had been in the past. So I was really excited about that. Dale actually reached out to me a little bit yesterday, uh, just for advice and crafting the questions and stuff like that. And then sure, he probably hit up a couple of other content creators, a couple of other playtesters, and say, "Hey, man, what do you think about this?" I think they did a really good job, though. So I want to talk about that a little bit, primarily because I think they did a really good job with the event portion of that. That's when I look through it all. I'm not gonna sit up there and like fill everything out and talk through everything, but I do think that this is uh I do think this is a really well put together survey. So I'll probably start the portion of that. Let's see. Now I'll be honest with you, I don't really buy bot bundles, but just for the sake of seeing what we got up here, they start talking about just different bots and stuff like that, and who you want to see in the bundle, and you can choose as many as you want, just like you always do. I was gonna say I'm gonna put Scylla in there. I don't really care. I typically don't buy bot bundles, but I'll pick a couple of things that I would actually use. G1 cores I'm also not really high on. That and the fact that I got most of them at this point. Um, Trying to think if there's any that I really need that I'm missing. I'd probably say I need that G1 dead end since I got the 4-star now. And they ask you about any power cores that you're chasing. And what do I need right now? I need another target protocol. And let's see. I think that's probably it for what I need. Do you buy bot profile bundles? Yeah. And then they got a lot of optional questions in here this time too. Action Will is joined the chat as well. And thanks for joining. Chris Harmon says he's looking for the G1 Blast Off Cool. Now, recently I was talking about Battle Boost. I was talking about that a little bit on Sunstreaker Waza, on his Unpopular Opinions thing. And I think it's a good point that they make because the optional question is more appealing to me than anything else. Is there a reason why you don't use other battle boosts? I mean, some of them are just better than others. So you start looking at stuff like White Crimzeeks, well, really most of the Crimzeeks, but the white one you can use to try to go keep yourself in one-shot range. The blue ones you obviously can stun with. Purple you can hack with. So I like all the Crimzeeks. I've even displayed when I was using when I was trying to combo fire and using my Crimzeeks for that, they try to go add fire to acid and getting the 20% multiplier. But some of these things just haven't grown as the game has grown. They hadn't added the kind of damage that you need to be relevant like they once were when we were in the HQ 15, the HQ 16 days. And I think that would be the big thing that when I do fill it out for good, when I do fill a survey out for real, that'll be one of the things that I will mention. Um, and then they asked, do you have any new ideas for any new boosts? I know they were talking about Dale was trying to make an Acid Crimzeek, so hopefully that comes out. But I kind of struggle to think of what else I would add to that battle boost. I would just want to boost the existing battle boost, really, for the time being. All right. Start asking, have you ranked up any bots? I have. All of my war team plus a couple of others, so that'll be 10 plus. And they start asking you about ranks if you hadn't. It's a lot of free to play players up there. Space Ape was pretty vocal about it early on, saying that, those ranks, they were trying to build them for, you know, pay to win players or whatever. So, um, and you can definitely see that when you start to go for the sergeant rank. Like I don't think I got one bot at the sergeant rank right now, and that's Blast Off. For you Autobots, that's Firefly. And that's the only one I think I got at sergeant. Cause I just don't want to pay all the money for it, man. If I'm gonna keep it a band. They ask about how do you feel about the Discord channel being split into threads. I kind of like that, just because a lot of times I hadn't gone to their Discord channel just because either it was complaining or I found myself getting frustrated going up there. So the alternating raids. So and then Dale and I actually talked about this a little bit yesterday. And I think the biggest thing, I don't personally have a problem with the alternating raids, 1 week on, 1 week off. Let me know in the chat what you think about that. How do you feel about not having raid every week? Now, I will say, and I said this already on stream before, um, it is, I don't think most players get burnt out from having to do the raid. But I will say this, as a commander of an alliance and as somebody is um, one of my family event organizers, I actually get really frustrated at times if the raid isn't completed in a certain timely manner. Then you're waiting on the raid before you can move for a big event. And so a lot of people were saying that you want to change it to the week where it's a short event so that you don't have to, or an individual event, and have raids on those weeks as opposed to the weeks when you're moving for a large alliance event. Now, this is the part of the survey that I really, really like, and it's about the event schedule. And the event schedule, one thing that really helped me out here looking at it is seeing, so this is the current event schedule. I think it's okay. I'll put fair. And then they start asking you, do you want large events all the time, pretty much, if you, or do you want to feel like you can complete the event? Now, at one point, I do feel like most events should be completable, but at the same time, I feel like there's certain guys that's just always going to complete every single event, no matter what. And I don't suspect that me personally, I'm ever going to catch those people. But then you get in the lower rewards, and I started to kind of change my mind a little bit. I think I don't want people to feel like they have to chase the event, but it's other things that happen when you do that. So I was like, for now, I'll just say I don't mind either. And then they ask you. I actually had asked some questions about this, but game modes, like the game modes, there's just so many of them, and I'm right now. I'm not because I'm not going to actually fill this in. I'm not going to actually submit. I'll just put everything as very satisfied. But man, this is a lot of game modes in the game, and I feel like they're trying to offset some things with like raids, and they were talking about possibly doing something similar with elimination mode. And I don't know if that's necessarily the answer, especially for elimination mode. I think you need to be able to do it whenever you can. But yeah. So they just start asking you about alliance events. What kind of player are you when it comes to that? And how do you go about finishing individual events? I usually finish about 35Ks. I don't do too many of them. I did actually complete the alliance event last week, and I got like 40K the first day, and then I just went through another 10K um, on Saturday, and I was supposed to be bidding 25K, but we had something come up in the family where I had to move up. So I mean, I didn't have to. I was asked if I was willing to. Then should we have bigger individual events? At this point, I'm actually inclined to say yes. But this is the part that I really like. Is when week by week, if you look at what's supposed to be going on in the game, um, week one is obviously going to be an individual totalizer, and with week one of a saga, it's always going to be after an endurance event. I'm inclined to go lower on that event just so you players don't feel like they're burning out. And let's be honest, week one never has that great of prizes anyway. It just doesn't. And so week one, I'm perfectly okay with that being a lower event. I say 25K for the midpoint, but if it was 20 or 15K, I'd be okay with that. I don't want anybody pushing 40K for that. And the prizes it's just regular stuff. It's never like just prizes that are gonna blow you away. But I think seeing this way, seeing uh each week what the apes expect to put into the prizes. Like week two is always gonna be typically a combat shard event or with prime core shards. You know, to be honest with you, and I was telling Dale this, most people are going to want the larger event for week two. Now, do I think that it should be during week two? Not really. I think if you did that later in the saga, it'll be perfectly okay. I think it's too close to the endurance event, and alliances are going to have to move every other week. I think that's a lot to ask, but week three is going to be Alliance Totalizer. I think typically that's going to be a smaller Alliance Totalizer. But I do like the idea that we're going to be looking at this um, in one big survey as opposed to week by week. Just because week by week, like we were doing it, everybody just said, oh man, everybody was thinking about their current feelings. And they just kept choosing the lower event. And it was really pissing a lot of people off. So but week four, I think, is going to be the most controversial, and that's because um, they have it for the combat release, and it's right in the middle of the saga. I do think the week four event should be relatively large. Um, I'm lukewarm on whether or not I want it to be an individual totalizer, just because with combats they're so scarce, and I would like to be able to help a teammate. Um, Maybe it lines up where they can't hit it that weekend, and I don't want them to miss out and constantly start falling behind. But at the same time, if week four is always gonna be a large event, you can only have so many large events. So week five, individual totalizer, smaller one. I would think, and then there's gonna be another 5-star shard event, week six. I think people are gonna try to push that to be a little bit larger, to be honest. Because when you start talking about 5-star shards and you start talking about 5-star combats, people are going to have a tendency to want to go higher. Week seven's individual, and then week eight. So what I think the survey is going to end up saying is that you're going to have multiple. I think you're going to start alternating big events, large events. Whether they be alliance or individual. I think they're going to alternate a lot more. So that's what I expect to see. It'll be interesting to see what the data suggests. Now, I'm not even going to go into that one. They're talking about support. They asked some questions about their new support system. They ask you about Prime League. Honestly, for those of you who play in Prime League, what do you think about it right now? Personally, I would pick this. I would say that it's right where it needs to be. I think it's difficult enough. And for the longest time, a lot of players were complaining about it. Now, do I feel that there are certain elements that we can make adjustments to? I think the healing's a little bit overpowered defensively. When you go use the cluster, I was actually, I think, the first person to start doing the cluster when we were doing it in test, and I set it up that way for a reason. So but a lot of people been getting frustrated with Prime League. But a lot of people been getting frustrated. I was talking in playtest with a couple of guys earlier today. A lot of people been getting frustrated. Period. So that's kind of what we're looking at, and I think that's going to be. I think most players are going to say they want to go away from the Prime League being as tough as it is. Because to be honest, it's challenging, but at the same time, I've been watching the Discord channels for about 2 years now, 2 or 3 years, where folks were just saying, "Hey, man, this is way too easy." Some of this stuff that they're looking at for Prime League hard mode. So, all right, let's take a look at the chat again. You got a couple more people that joined. Lucas Putich joined, and he says he suggested a Frost Crimzeek that freezes the building and can jump when the building's destroyed. And maybe it could have damage over time or damage boost. They could do that, but I think that the issue is they already got Nano Frost MK3. That it's not going to jump, but that one doesn't jump from building to building. But it kind of does what you're talking about. So I think they're kind of looking for fresh ideas where they can just have something different. And I think honestly, the acid Crimson thing, the idea that Dale had, I think is a good one because it feeds into the current meta. I think a lot of the emphasis right now is going to be on elements, and I think that's a good one. But then after that, it's kind of like, all right, man, what else? Chris Harmon says he likes the every other week for the raids. I mean, and the thing is, at one point, I really, really liked raids a lot. I really did. And I just kind of fell out of love with them because there's so many game modes right now. So I do understand why Space 8 would go and try to alternate the raids, but I also understand that, like, there was one point around this time last year when they just said, hey, we're going to go remove raid, and they removed it for like a week. And, with anything they do, there's going to be some level of complaining because when they removed it, people was like, oh, I needed my Shanix. And even though they doubled it when they did it this time, when they did the 1 week off thing, and they doubled it, and that was cool. I didn't mind that at all. I don't miss it per se. I just wind up doing other stuff throughout the week. But LJ Gaff, one of my other good friends, is joined. Thanks for joining. Matt Poley joined as well, so thanks. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about Deathsaurus, and I want to talk about what we've been doing as far as this combat bot. So with Deathsaurus, we got Tiger Chest, the new combat that's coming to the game. Now, I'm not going to show him off and what he actually does this go around, but so you got him as the next combat bot at the end of the batch, and we've been working through it in playtest. They've made some minor changes to the combat, and then you got Victory Leo that they're gonna have up there for the Autobot side. And be honest with you, there's been a lot of conversation in playtest about Deathsaurus, and it's been a lot of conversation about what should the combat do, what should the G1 core do. And I think at the end of the day, when you look at it, Deathsaurus, he just doesn't have a lot of health. So a lot of people were saying when you use like a rush in bot like that, a lot of people on playtest, they were saying, look, man, you're spending 10 points on this guy, and it was 12, so apes knocked them down a little bit. And we're expecting that at some point there's going to be an electrical meta. But my problem is this. When I remember when I first introduced, I was the first one to go say, hey, these are going to be the bots that are going to be in the batch. And when I first talked about it, I said, hey, man, everybody wanted Deathsaurus for years. But then I realized, hey, man, his day is kind of past. His day in the sun is kind of past a little bit. And this kind of solidifies it. So when we just got like a generic, all right, damage increase, health increase compared to the 4-star, like this is the maxed out version. I mean, he's at like 636.7 damage. Now it's like, man, like that's just kind of okay for the day's meta when everything's front loaded, when you've got all of the MDS and stuff. Like the game has changed so much since Deathsaurus first came out. And I'm just looking around like, man, like that's just not That's just not it. So a lot of people will use him to try to stun and for like sack purposes and anything like that. Which I'll take a crack at it. I'll try to take a crack at it in Prime League without any without any combat without any combats or power cores. But it's just like I'm really looking really heavily at his survivability. Now he's got great range, and actually got a good ability, but he's got so many things that counter him. I mean, like look at his range. That's really really good. And it's good that he can stun. But when you think about it, like it doesn't take it that long to bring him down. He's really expensive. He also can be countered by MSM. He can be countered by the anti EMP core. And like I said, like he's expensive. So what do you do? So there were a couple of ideas that the playtesters had, and the playtesters basically focus a lot of it around elements. So for me, I noticed when Deathsaurus was first out, a lot of people would actually go and they would use that Megatronus core on him. So I'm actually equip that and see how that does. Like a lot of people, because he was a melee bot, a lot of people would just use that on him, and a lot of people really enjoyed it. But he was a lot stronger for the meta at that particular time than it is right now. And one of my other moderators and good friends, Fox the Bomb, has joined the chat. Thanks for joining. And then you start looking around and you're just like, man, like, what do you actually use for a combat bot? Like, and I'll tell you this: when I was trying to go talk about this combat, I was focusing a little bit more on damage. So I was like, look, I've already accepted today, man. This bot's gonna fly into trouble. He's gonna stun some stuff, but I said I'm gonna destroy as much stuff as I can while he's in there. But I think the fear is that he's gonna be overpowered if we do so. So then, what do you do? So it's a couple ideas. When we start talking about elements, when we start talking about elements, I actually wanted to see like a Megatronus type thing around him. But you know, we had some playtesters that wanted to see ice. You know, you always got people that want to see acid just because acid is the meta right now. Um, and so the idea came up to do a power core, do 4 different power cores, each one with a different element. I felt like that was going to always be a stretch. And that's not what I'm saying is going to happen. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. But then I was like, okay, well, if we could get like an element, any element, even though he's technically already got electricity, you know, with a special ability, but if you could add some kind of element combo. So my thought process was this: we've already got fire and acid as a combo. What if ice and electricity was a combo? And I put that in my survey that I sent to the Space Ape, and I also said that to them in a Discord chat, and it sparked a lot of conversation. If I'm gonna be honest, um, just because that's kind of how we started out when we got Acid Storm and Slingshot. We started off with saying, "Hey, this combos with this particular bot," and then it turned into an entire meta. So that's kind of what I was wanting to get. I'm not going to share everything about the bot yet, about the combat bot. That's not where we're at. And I think that the other thing that we want to address, this bot having that really, really essentially low health for somebody that you're trying to bring into the meta. I think I clicked on impact by accident. But at 33K, like even with him having like even when I use like Baru on him, which I'm probably not gonna do in an actual battle, it's it's it's, he's just statistically not at where he needs to be at. Um, Space Ape did make some changes today. I still need to actually play around with the changes a little bit more to the combat bot, but I think they want to try to address his health a little bit. But even with the combat bot adding some health or something like that, it's just not where it's just not where it needs to be at. And I'm actually kind of disappointed at this point after like the last 7 or 8 months hearing that something really special was coming for Deathsaurus, and it's just not going in the direction that I want it to go in right now. So I would love to see him become relevant again. I would love to see him be the leader of the electrical meta. I just don't actually see it happening. And so like I think that if you're not playing like Prime League hard mode or something like that, if you're playing shoot, even in Cybertron League, I think it's gonna be tough for you to use Deathsaurus and Star Sabre. But I think if you're in any of the leagues underneath that, possibly could use them. But we even had some playtesters saying that that's not the case. So, we had a playtester that was in Caminus earlier today. He's like, man, look, I can't use that. It's not good. So we'll see how that goes. Like even in here, I think I'm in zone 14. I think I chose. Like he's still dying really, really quickly. Granted, he's getting hit up by LOP there, but I think it's a big ask. My other bots getting hit by Swoop and LOP, and they're holding on just fine. Uh, it's definitely got to be a rework in the card somewhere. But let me know what your thoughts, man. Like, any of you guys pulled the 5-star Deathsaurus? What do you think of them? Do you think they needs a rework? What would you like to see done? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, Jet Prime joined the chat and he said 4 power cores of each element. Wow. And that's what I said. And I knew when that idea came up, I knew that was going to be a long shot. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, there's absolutely no chance they were going to make four different uh power cores for one bot. But it would have been cool. It would have been something different. Or maybe they could have did something like that for as a general core. They could have just made a core that's like, hey man, you get a certain amount of acid, a certain amount of electric, something like that. LJ Gaff said he went into the batch and he got Slipstream. That's who I was going for, and I did not get Slipstream. Um, but at this point, I think my war team's pretty decent, with the exception of bots that I need to go back and chase. Um, with the exception of those, which I'm not going to chase any bots. I'll go get bots from the current batch and try to get ahead of these batches. But honestly, I'm not chasing anything, man. So I get it. Uh, but Slipstream would be a nice to have for me. But and now Leveler, that's the bot that I want out of this batch. I think I'll take a couple of runs with my actual war team, because one of the conversations we started having in playtest, and I talk about this all the time, but folks are saying that anytime you have a bot that rushes in, it's gonna be bad for your war team. But like I've been telling you guys, I've been using Bludgeon as my outpost popper, and I think it just works pretty well that way. I've been giving them Baru and Megatronus. I actually pulled the 5-star Baru over this weekend, so I was happy about that, because then my goal is to go for this. I think I'm on like level 7 or 8 for Baru right now. Just based off all the combat shards that I got over the weekend. But I'm really looking forward to using him and getting some little bit more damage. Oh, mercenary terrorists on vacation at the beach. That's what's up. That's what I need to be doing, man. I tell you what, man. I haven't even taken leave in like forever. And then, of course, I go in here, and the first person I pull up there is Sunstreaker Waza, and he's got one of those base designs that's really really tough on me. Let's see how I can do with that. So my biggest thing is I've been trying to go in here and work on using the Russian tank as my outpost popper. And, and a lot of people have been asking me lately what to do when they run into this particular layout. Dude, honestly, I just am that layout very, very early to try to work on getting to the interior because, dude, it's just front loaded and the ranges on all the beam lasers and then, the MDS and everything, man. Like, they will quickly tear your team apart. So I try to just focus on getting through those walls and then trying to get just close enough to pop that top outpost, which I'm not there yet. Luckily, for my sake, Waza's beacon uh isn't running right now. It's combining beacon. So yeah, I think it's been a change in the playtest where we were like the apes had actually extended our duration for our combiner and for our shields. And they took that off this past week for whatever reason. I kind of liked it because then you didn't have to worry about going in there as often. But hey, the good news is I'm getting better at playing with a mouse because I was like, dude, that's like the last stream I had. I was like trying to play with the mouse and I was terrible. And I was like, man, like, am I not good at the game anymore? What's going on? All right, I want to make sure I take a shot at this. I want to go here. So I like to go and get that in that 10 seconds and invulnerability anytime I use Galvatronus. And I actually took Galvatronus up to level 25 this weekend. I made a lot of progress on a lot of stuff this weekend, and I was not looking forward to playing the full 50k that I need to get for the event for the 2 mil. But once I got asked to, bro, I knocked everything out pretty much in like a day. And I spent the rest of the weekend just straight chilling, man. I just went out with friends all weekend. It was a good time, man. I sat up there like half the day at work. Just I grounded out a couple of battles of Transformers when I had some free time, and it actually went really quickly. So I was happy about that. And that really sucks because my combiner lost because I wasn't paying any attention. But I got my Quintus axe on Impactor. Impactor has been saving my butt lately, bro. Yeah, Venture Prime says, I noticed that you're adapting to the mouse. Yeah, dude, I played this thing a lot with the mouse after I had that really bad stream when I couldn't win like any battles. Like I played with the mouse a lot after that. So yeah, I'm getting better with the mouse. LJ Gaff asked a question about God Neptune. Dude, honestly, so I've been asked this question a lot today specifically. I have zero info on when God Neptune is coming. Obviously, we get all of the pieces now. Um, I don't have any info, man. When I know, I'll at least mention, hey, man, we're testing God Neptune. But until then, like, nah, man, I don't know. Action Will says, honestly, Deathsaurus is why I don't want to try batch 12. I mean, I get it, man. Um, I just, I just think that when there is a meta, when there's going to be a transition in the meta, the apes have a tendency to give you things that you don't want during the current meta, but it's preparing you for the upcoming meta. So I really thought that Deathsaurus would probably turn into something that people actually like maybe like 3 or 4 months from now. But I'm just not seeing him. This has got to be something that we're not seeing, that the apes already know that they're going to work on. And I've seen that a lot of times with a lot of different bots. So hopefully that's the case. I still got my fingers crossed. A couple of people saying maybe I'm too optimistic about it, but who knows? I got the bot now, so I'm gonna work them in my teams and on my event teams and get them leveled a little bit. We'll see how it goes. Action Will says he'd rather have a 5-star Sense. Yeah, me too. Or a 5-star Sea Phantom. Yeah, possibly. Fox the Bomb says it's still cool to have as a 5-star because I mean he is Deathsaurus. But yeah, man, nah, I got you. All right, so I already had a few people that I said I'm gonna do a giveaway for. I want to do one more giveaway before I go, and anybody that wins in this particular giveaway, I will also put your name into Space Ape for the drawing for the 500. I think it was 500 shards, 5-star shards or 5-star combat shards. So I'll put your name in for that drawing as well. And so it's going to be a trivia question. And the trivia question is going to be related to this channel. All right. So the question is, in my very first live stream, I pulled a 5-star bot. In my very first live stream, I pulled a 5-star bot. What is the name of the 5-star bot that I pulled in my first live stream? And so I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to try to. I know some of y'all gonna try to cheat, man. Y'all gonna log off of the stream and go to my page. But my very first live stream, I very first one, I pulled a 5-star bot. Who was that? What is the name of that bot? And I've been live streaming for a little over a year now, so that might help you a little bit with context. And a lot of people was like, yeah, that was before I joined. But you know what? You guys do know me though, because you guys have got some good answers. I ain't seen the right answer yet, but y'all got some good ones. Uh, so Mercenary Terror said Tantrum. So the story that I always tell about Tantrum, it wasn't my first one. I had to kill the whole batch to get Tantrum, if you remember the story. So that's not Tantrum. I cleared the whole batch out, and then FFD came out immediately afterwards. You guys be listening to me though, because I see a couple people saying Hook. So Hook, Hook wasn't the one. Hook, I got when I first joined the Horde. That was about a year ago. When I first joined the Horde, I was told that I needed to go get a better healer at a 5-star level, and that's what I did. So that's how I got Hook. Ooh, I see a couple of right answers in there now. I see a couple of right answers now. Now, Lucas, I actually don't have the 5-star headstrong. But now you guys actually had really good answers for bots that I actually did. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the voting off. So it's 2 people I see with the right answer, and that's LJ Gav, and that is Fox the Bomb. The first bot that I had on a live stream for a 5-star pull was indeed Impactor, and he's still on my war team to this day. So I was really excited about it too. You probably couldn't tell in my voice. Mercenary Terrors here. Can I change my answer? But yeah, the first bot that I had on a live stream, it was indeed Impactor. So you guys hit me up on Discord, and I'll give you a loot link today, and I will also enter your names into the drawing. So right now I got 7 people's names going up into that drawing for the 500 shards. I don't know when Space Ape is planning on doing that. To be honest, Dale just talked to us about it for the first time yesterday, but I'll keep you posted, and I'll make sure that you put your name in there. And I missed it. That Stanley Michael Tang joined the chat, but thanks for joining, and thank all you guys for hanging out with me today. Like I said, it's kind of just like a chill stream today. Hopefully next week I can talk more about the new combat bots, and hopefully we can and play test in between the Space Ape, we can make those guys look really, really good and really, really powerful for Deathsaurus and Star Sabre. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Next week should be same time, 6 p.m. Eastern. And I'll see you next time, and I'll see you guys on the battlefield. Freezy is out.